Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Last night was incredible, really special. Those nights, they don't happen often like that. Like, straight up, they really don't. I mean, plus 26 units, only lost two plays, won like 12, 13, went like 13 and 2. I mean, it was special, guys. Really, really special. But, like, one of the biggest things about being a successful sports bettor is you have to come back down from your highs and you have to bring yourself up out of your lows and get yourself geared up for the next day. And there are 11 games today, so there's no there's no more time to celebrate yesterday. You got to get after it. You got to find some winners today, and so let's do that. Let's get right into it. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do as much research yet on half of the games because I was watching that Mavericks and Golden State Warriors game up late last night. Sorry, excuse me, guys. And so, like, I literally just woke up and, like, I'm making sure I get this podcast out because I got other things I need to do today. So with that said, I'll go over the I have the first like six games down good for the information purposes, and then I'll do my best for the last six, and I'll power through this podcast. So the first game is the Indiana Pacers at the Orlando Magic. These two teams have already played two times this year. And normally when I'm looking at these, and I know these teams are out of division, Magic are in the Southeast or whatever division, like, and then Indiana is in the North division. I don't even know what these divisions are called, honestly. I should know what they are, but I don't know. Um, so sometimes they only play three times a year. I looked it up. They play four times. So this is not the tiebreaker because they're already 1-1 in the series. And this, if it was the tiebreaker, if say they're not playing again for the rest of the year, this would be a huge game for both of them because this would be the tiebreaker and it would determine playoff seeding. And both of these teams are most likely going to make the playoffs. So, anyways, let's get that out of the way. But let's see. The Magic are at home Friday versus the Heat. This is the fourth game of a 5-game homestand. Uh, no, sorry. That's for Indiana. They're at home Friday against the Heat. Indiana's pretty healthy, except for Obi Toppin's questionable. Orlando only had Wagner and De Silva, the rookie, play 30 minutes yesterday in their win against the Hornets. So they're very everybody should play for the Magic, and they didn't have to travel last night. So that's key for me, at least in my eyes. They literally played last Wednesday at Indiana, and Indiana won by 7. Um, kind of interesting because, like I've been saying on this podcast a lot, Indiana does not string together wins often. So, um, sorry guys, I'm just thinking this game over. So yeah, they're off a really nice win against the Knicks, and so like they don't handle success well. So like if I had any lean in this game, it would be Orlando first quarter, first half, full game, and I do lean over 226. I kind of like 226 actually because the Pacers are playing faster and Orlando is finding their offensive rhythm at home. So I do lean over 226. I might get there with that one, and I might get there with the Magic again at home. So we'll see. We'll see. Next game is the Boston Celtics at the Brooklyn Nets. Celtics, uh, I mean, they do this sometimes, guys. I don't know what it is. Like, they do this. They do this every year. Like, they have, like, a couple losses where you're just, like, scratching your head, like it almost makes you wonder like how did they even win the finals last year? I mean, it's like they lose to the Hawks yesterday to Atlanta without Trae Young, without like you know there's a couple other guys that they were missing too. I mean, DeAndre Hunter and like it just it makes I mean the 3-point shooting percentage for the Hawks like for a lot of these guys that played yesterday, it wasn't good. Like Boston should have ran them out the gym. Honestly, I just And then, the Celtics, they lost to Miami last year in the playoffs, like in game 2 at home. They lost to somebody else in the second round before. And they should have lost to the Pacers probably like 3 games in that series before they swept them. So I don't know, guys. It's just what Boston does. They have like losses you cannot explain, and last night was one of them. So now they're gonna go at Brooklyn. These teams just played on last Friday, I believe, in overtime. The Nets the Nets lost in overtime at Boston, but it was close, and the Nets were winning like the entire game pretty much. So let's see here. Nets are off a win at New Orleans, and they'll be at the Knicks on Friday. But I mean, it's New York City, so there's no travel for them. So they play 2 games in a row at Madison Square Garden. So they have some time off after tonight's game. Dorian Finney-Smith is questionable. Tatum says that he wants to play today. Derek White and Jaylen Brown both played over 35 minutes yesterday. Obviously, like I said, it's the second game of a back-to-back. So I would not expect that those guys play 30 minutes. Let's see what else I have on this game. This is the first home game in like a week for the Nets. That's usually a spot I don't love to back teams in, but the Nets have just been playing well. Like I think they're just in a good groove right now, and they know that they need to win because they lost to Cleveland and Boston. So on that road trip before beating New Orleans, so I think it's a good focus spot for the Nets. And then I obviously don't think the Celtics are going to play heavy minutes for everybody. So I do like Brooklyn 9.5. Sorry, let me see if these lines are still the same, guys. Let me see what these lines are. Let me refresh it. So the Magic are plus 1.5 at home. Sorry, I didn't go over that in the last game. And then it's down to 8.5 for the Nets. So it's 8.5 for the Nets. Total's 224 for the Magic and Pacers. Yeah, I like over there. And then the over under is 217 for the Celtics and Nets. I do lean over there as well because of the back to back for Boston. I don't think they're going to play like great defense on the back to back after playing heavy minutes in a emotional close game against the Hawks last night. Sorry guys, I'm powering through this podcast. I'm powering through for y'all. All right, next game we have the Chicago Bulls at the New York Knicks. This is a start of a 4-game homestand for the Knicks. There is a second of a back-to-back, but they played in Philly last night. They beat the 76ers last night in the NBA Cup game. But, I mean, it's such a quick travel from Philly to New York City. So, I mean, that's not bad travel at all, even though it is the second game of a back-to-back. All the starters for the Knicks in Tom Thibodeau fashion played over 35 minutes or more. I think a couple played 40 minutes for the Knicks. And then Deuce McBride was the only guy who played substantial minutes off the bench yesterday. So that's something to keep in mind. But it's still early in the season, and I expect that the Knicks players will be ready to go, at least early in this one. So we'll see. We'll see. LaVine is probable for the Bulls. So everybody for the Bulls looks like they're ready to go, ready to play in this one, at least, the players that matter. And they're off a loss to the Cavaliers on Monday, but they beat the Atlanta Hawks the game before that on the road. They came back and won. And the Bulls are a scrappy team. I'll give them that. I mean, they've come back from like down 30 points a couple times this year, and they've won some games. So yeah, I mean they're live in this game. They're live. I don't love them. I still like the Knicks, even though the Knicks are coming off an emotional win. Um, well, actually, no, guys. Let me take that back. This point spread's higher than I remember last night. Plus 8.5 for the Bulls. Like full game. The Bulls have scoring, right? They have good guard play. Kobe White, Dosumu, Josh Giddey, LaVine. Like they have guys that can score, guys that know how to play professional basketball. So I mean, you're just asking for a professional effort here. I like the Bulls plus 8.5 full game. I think I'm gonna get there. I mean, it's just hard betting the Bulls because they don't have the front court size. Like, I mean, to go up against Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart, like the Knicks are going to out physical the Bulls for sure. But off a second game of back to back, they play like heavy minutes last night to win a game by 10. I feel like that's asking a lot. I think the Bulls plus 8.5 is a really good play. Really good play. I think I'm going to get there with the Bulls plus 8.5. Over under is 230, and I think that's more of a reflection of the back to back for the Knicks and also for the Bulls' pace and small ball and lack of defense. So I think Bulls team total over. Let's see what that would be. You divide 230 by 2, so that's 115, and then you divide the spread by 2, which is 4 because it's 8, and then you subtract 4 from 115. So the Bulls team total over is like around 111, probably 111 and a half, 110 and a half, and I like that. I think this game is high scoring, but I do like the Bulls plus 8.5 more. I could see the Knicks covering the first quarter and the first half. So, all right, we will leave that game alone and we'll go to the next game. We've got the New Orleans Pelicans at the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the fourth home game of a 5-game homestand for the Thunder, and I do like that, guys. Like, the reason why I bring that stuff up is because I think when a team plays like 5 games in a row at home, like after like that second game at home, when they play that third game, every game after that, it's like familiarity, it's comfortability, it's like, just surroundings look the same. It's like, hey, let's come in. And especially if you're in a good groove and you're playing well, it's like, basketball's such a rhythm and harmonious sport where it's like, I like that. I think that's a bet on. I think that's where like, hey, these teams are gelling right now. Why stop? Why get in front of them? So the only thing is with this game is the spread is out of control. We will get to that number in a little bit. But last game, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they did not have Chet Holmgren, so they played small ball, meaning their center was Jalen Williams, or their tallest player was 6'6". Like, that's it. Like, that was their tallest player, 6'6". They were running, gunning, going up the floor fast, shooting the ball quickly, and I took the over in that game against the Clippers, and it flew over. And I took the over last night. I took over 223, and I think it went down the total. No, it's at 222.5. So I didn't get the best number, but whatever. I still love it, and I made it a 4-unit play, so I made it a big play. And I mean, what's going to change here, guys? The Thunder are going to go small ball. Like, I mean, I'm really not even concerned about the Pelicans, because if one team's just playing so fast, it's like the Pacers, right? Or it's like the Hawks. So those teams play so fast. Even if they play a little bit of good defense, it doesn't matter because there's just so many more possessions in the ball game. And if they're scoring a lot, then the other team's going to get dragged along with points. So I I think Oklahoma City Thunder team total over would be a great bet too. Like, if you don't feel like you can trust the Pelicans for some reason, I feel like I can. I think Brandon Boston Jr. can score the ball well. I think Noel off the bench is a capable scorer to get some buckets. They still have Brandon Ingram, and Trey Murphy came back from injury. Last game was his last game, and he's their best shooter from 3-point land. So, you know, I do think there's enough scoring there. And then obviously they have the size advantage where like they can get offensive rebounds and quick layups, and all we're asking for the Pelicans to do here is to get to like 105 points, 8 points, 105, 108 points, and then just have the Thunder get to like 120, somewhere around 120. Well, no, not even that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the Pelicans just have to get to like 104 points, 105 points, and then the Thunder get to 120. It's very doable. It's very doable. I mean, again, guys, Oklahoma City's they're playing small ball. They don't have a center. They don't have a guy that's like 6'8". They don't have it right now. So they showed us last game. They're going small and it worked. So why would they go away from it this game? They can't go away from it this game. They're going to go small ball. They're going to run the ball up the court. They're going to score a lot of points. The game's going over, guys. I gave the bet out last night on my Twitter. And yeah, sorry, guys. I'm not going like in very organized in this podcast this morning. So I'm tired. I stayed up late last night. So I appreciate you guys listening and as I try to power through this podcast. All of my bets are at Twitter. I officially release my official record, my official bets. Everything that I bet myself that I release to the public is at Twitter, at Easy Money Wins, at Easy Money Wins, guys, with the S at the end. All right, so go follow me there on Twitter for all my official plays. I released this over 2:23 last night. Okay, man, I got a breath today. Okay. Let's keep going, guys. Yeah, but injury front, no new injuries for the Pelicans, no new injuries for the Thunder. Uh, they play at home in New Orleans. The Pelicans do at Friday against Denver, and then the Thunder play the Suns at home on Friday. So, a good rest spot. Both teams are rested. Both teams are ready to go. No Alvarado. Jose Alvarado for the Pelicans is out with for a couple of weeks. He really hurt his hamstring. But anyways, to the spread, I like plus 14.5 with the Pelicans. I know I might sound crazy with that, but I think the Pelicans are capable of keeping the game close, especially since the Thunder are in small ball. And I am probably going to be on the Pelicans plus 14.5. So that's my thought on the spread there. Let's go to the next game, guys. The Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers, the red hot Cleveland Cavaliers, who've won 11 or 12 in a row games against the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers lost last night at home in the NBA Cup to the Knicks, like we've already spoke about. Joel Embiid played around 25, 30 minutes. Paul George played around 30 minutes. Still no Maxey for them. Maxey's out for 6 weeks, I think, or something like that. And I don't know if Embiid's going to play. Embiid was joking around last night saying that he felt like he could play. He said he wanted to play tonight, but again, I don't know if he's going to. I would not bet the 76ers until you know for sure he's going to play or not going to play. And, because Cleveland's just like a buzzsaw right now. They're just again, you want to look for teams that are in rhythm, guys. You want to bet the hot teams. That's an NBA betting secret too, okay? You want to find teams that are in rhythm and teams that handle rhythm well, like success well, okay? So, obviously the Pacers, right? They don't handle success well. So you want to bet them off of a loss, not off of a win. At least that's how I'm playing them. But some teams, they handle success very well. So the Cavaliers are showing us they're handling success very well. So, if you could only look Cleveland, I understand that. But, at this point, after 12 wins in a row, the spread is pretty high. It's at +9 right now. Let's see. Yeah, +9.5. And then the total is at 218. And I like over 218 with the 76ers on a back-to-back. And Cleveland's going to score. I do think that's too low. And then the spread, I like the 76ers if Paul George plays. If and Embiid's out. But if both Embiid and Paul George play, the spread will probably go down to +5, +6, I would think. So we'll keep an eye on that. These teams don't play again. Cleveland plays Friday, and then the 76ers play Friday as well. So both teams off tomorrow. Again, we'll have to wait for that injury news on Joel Embiid and Paul George to see if they do play in this back-to-back. All right, next game is the Los Angeles Clippers at the Houston Rockets. This is a good game, guys. I don't know if Fred VanVleet is playing for Houston. Let me click on them real quick. Sorry, guys. Let me click on their injury real quick. Let me see if Fred VanVleet's playing. He's questionable with a hamstring. And I think he left early last game. So I need Fred VanVleet in this game. If I'm going to bet Houston, I really need Fred VanVleet. He's obviously he is the floor general, is the point guard, but he's also that veteran presence and, keeps everything calm and, keeps them confident. His presence out there is huge, guys. Like, I mean, he's still a very good player, but, he's still a very good player, but, um, I really need him. If he's out, I will be on the Clippers, guys. The Clippers off of a loss. The Clippers play well on the road this year, and people are sleeping on the Clippers just because they don't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George left. They think that Clippers core from last year is like trash or something. And I'm telling you right now, the Clippers are one of my favorite teams to bet because I love Norman Powell and I like Terrence Mann and James Harden still playing great ball. I mean, they just, and Derrick Jones Jr., they added in the offseason. Like, they just, they're a solid team. And I love Ty Lue. Love Ty Lue. Ty Lue knows how to motivate teams, get the most out of them. He demands excellence. So I like the Clippers in the spot if there's no Fred VanVleet. I really do. Really, really do. These teams do not play tomorrow. In fact, there's only one game on Thursday. It's Dallas at Utah. So, and none of those teams play today. So none of these games we have to worry about teams playing tomorrow. So that's good to keep in mind for the rest of this podcast. But yeah, the over under is 213 for Houston and Los Angeles. And again, if Fred VanVleet doesn't play, I don't know this for sure, but this is just like my opinion. Fred VanVleet isn't a fast player. He's not going to like push the tempo up the floor. So like if Jalen Green is the point guard, or I don't know who they would even bring in after Fred VanVleet, like Cam Whitmore, I have no idea, guys. Um, they're probably going to play a little bit faster. The Clippers like to play slow and they like to play good defense, but um, yeah, I don't. I lean over that total, and again, I know I'm saying like over for all these games, but I do. I think the over for the Clippers Rockets game of 213. I think that's too low if Fred VanVleet does not play. So that's my thoughts on that game, guys. Yeah, Clippers off a loss to OKC. They'll be hungry for a win. The Rockets won the other night against the Wizards on a back-to-back. They're in a good groove, but sorry, excuse me. And I know the Rockets play well at home, but I think this is a Clipper spot here. I think it is. Even if Fred VanVleet plays and this line goes up to +6, I think it's a Clipper spot. I think I'm going to be on the Clippers today, guys. Okay, let's go to the next game. I have the Detroit Pistons at the Milwaukee Bucks. Both of these teams are off of wins yesterday. The Pistons are off an emotional win. I don't know if you guys saw the end of that Pistons Heat game yesterday in the NBA Cup, the NBA in-season tournament. Eric Spoelstra forgot that he did not have a timeout, and the Pistons got an alley-oop, like off the inbounds to tie the game. Spoelstra called a timeout. He did not have a timeout. That's an automatic technical. So then Detroit hit the game-winning free throw, and Detroit got the ball because it was a technical. And so then they fouled, and then they ended up winning by 2. And then, yeah, it was crazy. So, the whole crowd going crazy. Jalen Rose was there. He was going crazy. Like, it's a big – and again, the NBA Cup, the winners of the NBA Cup, the winning team gets $1 million a player. The runners-up get $500,000 a player, something like that. So, like, a young roster like the Pistons, well, they added a lot of veterans, but I mean, there's still some young guys on there, and just for like their confidence as a team, like they've been losing a lot last year. They want to win, right? And JB Bickerstaff, the head coach for the Cavaliers, he's a no nonsense guy. He's like he demands a lot from his team. So they're bringing this whole vision to fruition, right? Like they are. They're bringing this whole vision that Bickerstaff is preaching to them, and they're playing well. So huge win. So why am I illustrating this? Because guys, this is a huge win, and they have to travel to Milwaukee. Now again, Detroit to Milwaukee is like nothing travel wise. So I mean, it's not like that's that big of a deal, but it's still an extra thing you have to do. Still a little bit something you have to, you know, take care of in the day, pack your suitcase a little bit, all that stuff. And I don't know if this is the start of a home game sorry, let me look to see if this is the start of of a road series for the Pistons. Yeah, then they're at Toronto um on Friday, and then they're at Washington. So it is the start of, oh guys, I'm gonna be on the Bucks tonight, guys. This is a clear spot. But even even if Detroit was not on a roadie right now, I this I'm telling you, I don't think Detroit can handle this big of. I mean, I don't think most NBA teams cannot handle a huge emotional win, and then the next day, the second game of a back to back, go out and play a really good game. And now look, I know the Bucks played a back to back yesterday as well. So like this is their second game, and they had a very nice win at home, but it wasn't close. It wasn't, and it's not like a huge emotional win either. So it was just a solid win for the Bucks. So let's see where the spread is at. Oh my gosh, -5.5 for the Bucks, guys. Oh my gosh, that is gold. I'm telling you right now, that's gold. I mean, you really do want Damian Lillard to play, but I'm telling you guys, the Pistons, like, that's a really bad spot for the Pistons, in my opinion. Really bad spot. Totals at 216. I kind of lean under there, even with both these teams off a back to back, because the Bucks don't play. They're not playing fast right now, and especially if Dame Lillard's not going to be there, they're going to be playing defense for sure again. I mean, I don't even think they got to 100 points last night against the Raptors. So, but yeah, that -5.5. Oh man, that and Tim Hardaway Jr. got hurt. That was really sad. He went off in a wheelchair last night for the Pistons. So I don't know if obviously he's probably not going to play. I don't know if officially, but I would think he's not. So that's some more shooting, bench scoring, or I think Hardaway Jr. was starting actually. So yeah, they're missing some shooting. Definitely lean under the 216. The spread, I think that's a Bucks spot, guys. I'm probably gonna be on Bucks first quarter, first half, full game. That line looks very good, very good. Okay, next game we have the Washington Wizards, the Whiz Kids, at the San Antonio Spurs. I can only look at San Antonio here, guys. The Wizards are bad. And so here's another thing. Like if you listen to my NFL podcast at Free NFL Bets, I talk about ATS covers, like against the spread covers and the records at the end of the year for the teams, like how well they do against the spread. And in the NFL, there's only like a couple teams that are, or like one or two teams that are like outliers that are just like awful against the spread, and you can basically fade them all season and make a lot of money. In the NBA, it's different. There's a handful of teams you can literally fade the entire season against the spread and just make a lot of money. And I think the Wizards might be that team this year. I could see the Wizards being like 40% against the spread when it's all said and done. And like, I mean, honestly, if you just fade them every single game, you're going to make money. Now, this spread is at -9.5, -10. So of course it's steep because it's the Wizards. But let me pull up the Spurs here. Let me pull up the schedule real quick since I'm looking at this. Okay, so the Spurs play at home against the Lakers on Friday. The Wizards go at Atlanta on Friday. And then on Sunday, let's see. The Spurs then play Saturday at Dallas. So that's not bad travel. And then the Wizards are at home. Oh, yeah, against Detroit, like I already said, on Sunday. So, not too crazy situations in the future for both of these teams. So, this is a pretty focused spot for each team. Let me look at the Spurs injury report real quick. Everybody's healthy for the Spurs except for Malachi Branham. And they didn't have Malachi last game. And they did fine against, I forgot who they beat last game. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the Kings. I was on them when they beat the Kings. So I expect them to be okay and ready to go in this game. I think the Wizards still have Kuzma available. He played last game when they played Houston. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Now I mean, I know I just kind of like shit talk the Wizards, but I kind of like that everybody's healthy. I like their three rookies. They're scrappy. Kyle Kuzma's back. Jordan Poole's still there. Uh, Jonas Valanciunas, Corey Kispert on the bench. Like, I don't know. It's just, see, the thing with the Wizards, they have the talent there to actually be competitive. I don't know about winning a lot of games, but they have a good competitive fire this year. So, in terms of covering point spreads, that's something that's very attractive. So I know I kind of just said that sorry, I take back what I said about the Wizards maybe going 40% against the spread. I think they actually can figure it out. Sorry, I forgot that those three rookies. I like those three rookies: Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington, and Sar. And then Kuzma, Jordan Poole. You know, they're not like the most mature leaders, like great decision makers themselves, but they fight hard. They're competitive guys. So I take that back. I kind of like the Wizards plus 9.5, plus 10 here with everybody healthy and competing in this one. I think the Wizards. I think the Wizards give this a good game today, guys. I can only look Wizards plus 9.5. Okay, next game. We have the Memphis Grizzlies at the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a Lakers spot because these two teams just played like a week ago and the Grizzlies smoked them. And then that's when JJ Redick went like on his like angry press conference rant and he like benched D'Angelo Russell. It's like hothead, got like emotional. It's kind of funny in my eyes seeing JJ Redick get like that, but still. Um, but the Grizzlies have been playing good ball without Ja Morant. Let's see if Ja Morant's playing in this game. I forgot about the injury to Ja Morant, like how long he's out for. Let me see here. I think he's out for a little bit of time. Yeah, he's out. He is out. Ja Morant is out. He's considered week to week with his hip. He's got like a hip issue. But I think Marcus Smart is questionable. He is. Marcus Smart is questionable for this game. Desmond Bane is out. Vince Williams Jr. is doubtful. He has not been playing. Oh, Brandon Clark is also questionable with left toe soreness. His toe. Um, all jokes aside, toe injuries are not. That's not a joke. Toe injuries hurt, man. I played college football and like I had a toe issue that sucked. Like I mean, that's the real deal. Still funny though. Okay, so they're looking at Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey, Santi Aldama, Luke Kennard, and Scottie Pippen Jr. starting. I mean, that's okay. Like for real, that's okay. That's who they've been trotting out there, and they've been playing very good basketball. And they still have Jay Huff, John Conchar, Jake LaRavia, Jalen Wells. Like they still have guys that have been playing very good off the bench. And if you guys know, Memphis, they're a organization that does very, very well at developing undrafted free agents, second round draft picks. Like just they do a very good gosh, Taylor, I forget Taylor, whatever his name is, the head coach, Taylor Jenkins. Um, he does a really, really nice job. Like just that whole organization, like everybody plays really, really well competitive basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies. And they showed that last year when John Morant was out. You saw G.G. Jackson, you saw Vince Williams, like all these guys, they played well. Santi Aldama, like all these guys, Conchar. These are all guys that give a professional effort every night. So the spread is -6.5. That's a good number. Still lean Lakers because they don't like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies don't like them either, but it's kind of a little, not a rivalry, but maybe like a little rivalry in a sense. Um, things do get a little heated, a little emotional between them when they play each other. Um, but I can only look the Lakers, guys. The Lakers have been playing well ever since JJ Redick challenged them to play better and play better defense. So let's look at what's going on with their schedule situation. So, Lakers finish their homestand tonight. They go to San Antonio on Friday, and then they play Saturday again at New Orleans. So, 3 games in 4 nights coming for the Lakers here. For the Grizzlies, they play Sunday at home against Denver, and then they're at Golden State on Friday. So they're traveling. They're traveling around right now. They were just in Portland on Monday, so they're bouncing around on their road trip right now. So let's check the injury report for the Lakers real quick. See what's going on there. Anthony Davis is probable. D'Angelo Russell is probable with an illness. I think Anthony Davis is going to play, but again, if you're going to bet the Lakers, you got to know if Anthony Davis is going to play. I'd probably wait till the final injury report comes out for him. Let's see what the total is for this game. I lean under already, just thinking out loud. Oh, 230? Are we serious? Wow, 230? I think that game goes under. I think this total's high because of what the Grizzlies have been doing recently, but they've been doing it against like poor competition. They scored like 130 against Portland, but Portland was a no-show that day. And man, I think that total's too high. I'm looking under there, guys, especially with JJ Redick calling out the defensive intensity and everything. Let me just take a quick look. Um, yeah, look at what the Lakers did. JJ Redick called out defensive intensity. Now, I get it. Philadelphia is not a great offensive team. They held them to 106. The Toronto Raptors are not like an amazing offensive team either. They held them to 103. But I mean, guys, is Memphis really that amazing of an offensive team? I think they're a step up above Toronto and Philly. But to get to 230 and Memphis plays good. I mean, I'm going to be on that under, guys. That under is speaking to me. Under 230. That looks like good money right there. Okay. Let's go to the next game. Man, there's a lot of games today, guys. 2 games left. We've got Minnesota Timberwolves at Portland Trailblazers. These 2 teams played last night. I called this game correctly with Portland plus 9.5. I wish I had the courage to take them first quarter, first half, because they did cover first quarter like I thought they were, and they covered first half like I thought they were. I thought they were going to cover the entire game. They did, but it's okay. I still took them team total over 106.5. That got there too. So I still won 5 units off of that game. So very happy. They won outright. It was a very nice win for the Trailblazers. And, I heard a lot of people yesterday on various podcasts and just on Twitter. And, they're saying, you can't bet the Trailblazers right now. And, like, I understand that. But, if you look at the season, the Trailblazers have been playing pretty good basketball for the most part, and then they'll lay an egg and they will look terrible. That's been their pattern, so to say, right? And they've played very well against good teams. So, they were in a 3-game funk. Then Chauncey Billup basically like yelled at the players after Monday's loss to the Grizzlies. And then, Delano Blanton tried to dunk at the end, and Zach Edey blocked him, and there was a little chippiness. So, but like, that's what I like to see. I need to see that. Like, I need to see if these teams care or not. So, like, I like seeing Delano Blanton get a little pissed off. Like, honestly, he shouldn't have been, but like, I like to see that, because if you're just going to get blocked at the end of the game when you're down 30 and like, you're not going to show any emotion, then I'm worried if this team even cares or not. But I knew that this team cared. All the things that I saw, that I read, all the stuff, I knew that the Trailblazers in the NBA Cup with a young team coming out against a team that they just lost to last Friday and the Timberwolves by like 30, they're going to come out and give a freaking huge ass effort last night. And they did. Won me money. Let's go, guys. Let's go. So, now for this game, right? So the Timberwolves, they lost yesterday. Returning to the scene of the crime, right? So same arena, same team. They lost yesterday. I would expect the Timberwolves to give a very, very good effort tonight. I think I could only look the Timberwolves here, even though the point spread is -9 again. It's very high. Maybe take Timberwolves first quarter, first half. Maybe look to their team total over for the full game, because I don't trust these teams to play much defense on a second game of a back-to-back. And then the Trailblazers had an emotional win. They had a very good win. So, I can only look Timberwolves. I don't think I'm going to get there. Let's see where the total's at. Total's at 220. I like that over. I like it. I like it over again. I do. I really do. I like that. I think that's good money there. I'll think about that one. All right. The Suns and the Kings is the last game. Phoenix won last night in Utah by like 8 points, something like that. They covered the spread. They covered the first quarter, first half, so they covered it all. But if you remember, these two teams played on Monday, and the Kings won, or Sunday night. And these two teams went into overtime, and the Kings won. They snuck it out after the Suns were up a lot. So, the Suns are still without Kevin Durant. Um, Nurkic, I don't think played yesterday. That was probably scheduled because um, who's the head coach for the Budenholzer. Budenholzer was probably like, we don't need Zubac tonight, or not Zubac. Gosh, what the heck am I talking about, guys? Nurkic. Sorry, Nurkic. We don't need Nurkic tonight. Let's just save him for Sabonis tomorrow against the Kings. So like that was probably a scheduled sit out. I would expect that Nurkic plays tonight. And, we'll see who else comes out on the injury report for the Suns. But, going from altitude in Utah, going to Sacramento, it's not a super long plane flight, but the altitude may play a little bit of a role. I mean, it usually does sometimes. But with all that said, I kind of like the Suns plus 7.5. I think obviously they lost, so and just tiebreaker purposes, the Suns know that they need to win this game to at least not have to win the last two games against the Kings to make it even for the playoff tiebreaker. So this game means a lot to the Suns. It means a lot to the Kings too, but it means a lot to the Suns, guys. I'm telling you. Ooh, that over's 225.5. I think that's flying over, guys. Oh man, there's a lot to like in this card today. Guys, I think I'm gonna win money again today. I feel pretty confident about it. Feel pretty darn confident about that. So that's it, guys. That's it. Follow again. You want to know what my official plays are today? Follow me at Twitter at EasyMoneyWins. That's where I release all my plays, guys. So I'm back into a good groove. Daily podcast every day. Let's keep it going. Let's keep winning money. Let's go.